I was not invited to Scotland to test drive the Spyder and the GT4, but Andreas Preuninger, well, he crashed my video production, jumped into frame, and we had a spectacular chat. Porsche stand, obviously, the 718 GT4 and the 718 Spyder is the highlights for me. I tell you this, I'm so excited of them. Let's have a chat about them. The new developed 4-liter flat six, 420 horsepower are gonna do miracle to the mid-engine. Remember that this is the MMB platform based on the 992 and the 718.
Someone told me this ain't love. There's no way you get into my heart. Someone told me, gotta move on. Keep it together before you fall apart. And there's no reason to be numb, but I can't even fall asleep until the dawn.
Nick Murray, get to your senses. Yellow, beautiful. The GT4 is astonishing when you look at the car. Obviously, the performance, well, that creates the new lines of the Cayman are thumbs up. Obviously, if you look at the sleek line and the lines that you actually extend with the rear spoiler, you know, everything is, extended just a little bit more with the yellow color. New chassis on the GT4, more joint bolts will make it easier for you to adjust the car according to your wishes. 380mm brake discs in 4 corners will make the braking capability of the 718 even better. Finally, Pilot Sport Cup 2 fitted on both the GT4 and Spyder. I love it a lot. But Porsche, why didn't you fit the Track Connect? Oh, something you need to think about in the future. And obviously more aerodynamics. The spectacular rear wing together with the rear diffuser will make the car even stickier on the track. The aerodynamics continues in the front. Well, actually it starts if you think about it. But I think Andreas Preuninger said that when you have designed something that has a function, it looks much beautiful. And I agree to him because this, when you see the front in the flesh, it's even more aggressive. It's even more, I want to drive this car. That's the symbol. Also the badge that perhaps is not easy to spot on the pictures are really beautiful when you look at it.
You are so right about what
I was a bit surprised when Andreas Preuninger, after this clip that you just saw, jumped into the frame and started talking to me. Obviously he's not in the frame just jumping in, but enjoy.
as well. It has to make the driver turn around when he leaves the car and turn around to have a look at the car again, because it's beautiful. But we don't want to have design features on the car that are just design features. So everything has to have a function, it has to make the car feel better and work better.
I must say I am so impressed. I have been a Porsche customer since I was 19 years old.
Okay.
And I have a bit story to tell you that I have been dreaming to tell you. The first project you have, I think it was with Harley-Davidson and the V-Rod. Not sure about that.
It was a Weissach project. We offered engineering services back then days as well, and one of the projects, it's a long time ago, so I might be able to communicate that. Was a V-Rod engine, that's right. So we worked together with Harley.
In my garage, I have a V-Rod.
Very cool bike.
It is a very cool bike.
I was more than once in my life tempted to have one too.
I must say it is a beauty to ride, and the Revington engine with 9,000 revving is beautiful. Parked beside, until recently, a manual GT3 revving 9,000 revs.
Well, so we love 9,000 RPMs?
I think we do. And now introducing the GT4 and Spyder, I'm even more excited.
Well, it's a very, very successful model. We were kind of surprised ourselves that the 981 GT4 was such a success, and we couldn't build enough cars, and we were overwhelmed by the reaction of the markets. And we like the idea of this mid-engine GT car so much, so we built a bespoke engine for just the GT4 and the Spyder, which is a 4-liter atmospherical, normally aspirated, and it's really a blast. It's not 9,000 RPM, but it's 8,000, which is plenty. And it's got 35 horsepower more than the old version and a lot more torque. So this is one of my most favorite drivers right now.
When I first drove my 991.2 GT3 on the racetrack, and I still have one of the most great moments is to speed shift my GT3 manual. You know, when I just keep
such a rewarding sensation.
It is.
Makes you feel good, makes you grin, which is healthy. It's good for your health because it makes you smile and it puts you in a good mood.
I call it the art of driving.
Yeah, it is.
Question: can I speed shift the Spyder and the GT4?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
The function is developed. Why not give it to this car as well? So.
It is a beauty. It takes the dimension of driving to a total different level.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's all about information. The car gives you so much information to compute. If you understand it right, that you can really put the car on, you can balance it on the edge. So you can dance with the car at its very limit without having to be afraid. And this is the most exciting point for me. If you summarize it of a GT4, you really can drive it at the edge at a really very fast pace, and still be very safe. If you got the capability to talk with the car, because the car wants to talk to you, but you have to understand it. But our customers mostly do. So,
if you look at the development of the Spyder and the GT4, what was the most challenging part from an engineering perspective?
I mean, it's a whole new engine. We decided to make a whole new engine for the car. That's a big project. Challenging thing is always emissions, regulations, worldwide homologation processes. It gets harder every year to pull out a normally aspirated, high revving, very emotional engine, because it has to live up to a lot of expectations of all the different rule makers, and this is kind of the main problem on the engine side. On the Spyder, we totally went a different approach this time, using all the GT4 hardware in the regions where it doesn't meet the eye first. So it has a whole new chassis. It's actually a GT4 without a roof. So, and then you've got the aerodynamical thing, because an open car always behaves a lot differently to a closed car. It can't make downforce, because driven in the open, you've got so many swirls, so many turbulences, so many lift on the car. So we came up with a diffuser, and this diffuser on that car works really brilliantly. And it's a mid-engine car, so you can really accelerate the air in the back of the car more than if you have an engine sitting there. And that was part of the aerodynamical balance of the Spyder was quite a challenge. Not so much on that one, because we are used to closed coupes, so we're very good at this. But the open car was a little bit of a challenge. But it came together with the Speedster development. It was our first open car. It was in parallel with the Spyder, and we gained some new experience by that. And all in all, it was a very rewarding process to make open cars and make an addition to the GT range.
Andreas Preuninger, thank you for giving me so much joy in life.
You're welcome. Sorry for just...
no, that was perfect.
Gentleman, as Mr. Preuninger is, he asked if I wanted to do a new interview. I turned it down, and instead I got 45 minutes of Q&A with Andreas and head of motorsport, Dr. Frank Stefan Walliser. Let me put it mildly, I have a lot of answered questions. Thank you, Andreas, for crashing into my video production. You are always welcome.
Approaching this vehicle gives me a lot of design feeling. It is a beautiful car, and many people stops by and take photos. I remember when I drove the 981 Spyder, how much I connected. It is not less with this car, ladies and gentlemen, knowing that Andreas Preuninger and his team has done the performance in this vehicle. 718 Spyder. Well, let's face it, I prefer the 718 to be dedicated to this flat 4. Regardless, imagine taking the top off the GT4 and still have the performance, creating the downforce and having the proper performance that were used from the GT car. Oof, this is a car that attracts me a lot. Remember that the beauty is within the beholder, but I think this is one of the most beautiful cars Porsche has designed the last 15 to 20 years. I would say that this is a design difference that could be under question. The Spyder does not have the beautiful scope on the air intake on the side, something that I actually prefer. So if you buy a Spyder, consider at least to do something in this area. These bulges lines, well, that's the big difference of the Spyder. We have seen them on the previous version, but they are one of the most beautiful design elements ever. If you see this car in flesh, take your time and inspect the different line carefully, because this is the art form that, could not be measured.
I'm not in love, I'm just pretending. I'm not in love, I'm just forgetting him. I'm not in love, I don't feel anything, don't feel anything.
The GT4 Spyder project is a cooperation inside Porsche. The project owner is the 718 team in Weissach, focusing on the 4-liter natural aspirated flat 6. The engine is based on the 3-liter 992 Carrera S turbo engine and have the same bore and stroke as the 991.2 GT3. 80% is new parts in the engine. The gearbox is an improvement from the previous version of the 981 GT4. Andreas assured me that this gearbox will suit this engine much better. How does it sound? I will not judge the sound at Goodwood Festival of Speed, having race cars side by side of the GT4, but you are welcome to listen to these recordings. Porsche Motorsport was responsible for the chassis and the aerodynamics. Hard to miss that Andreas Preuninger was satisfied with the work of the Spyder, giving as much downforce as the GT4, regardless of the smaller front wing.
Coming back to the aerodynamics, I really appreciate this part more and more. And more I look at it, it is, engineering with perfection. The air will come in, hit the front, transported through this and come out on the front of the tire. It looks extremely slick and you can actually feel the extra downforce. I'm entering the GT4 for the first time, so familiar acquaintance. So well, actually it feels like my old GT3, obviously. So I'm just gonna feel how the manual feels. Oh yes, there is no disappointment at all when it comes to the touch and feel of the manual gearbox. Seating position, thumbs up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is at Ace. Ooh, I feel lucky. Eric, introduce yourself to my wonderful viewers.
I'm Eric Borstedt. I'm a sales executive at Porsche Sweden in Stockholm.
I must say we have had a spectacular day here in Goodwood.
Yeah, totally. It's like the first time we're being here and it's like so great to be here, finally.
And the hospitality both at Michelin and Porsche has been top notch, right?
Yeah, totally.
GT4 Spyder.
What a day to see those cars. The first time to see them live, it's like a dream came true for me.
Me too, and I mean that MMB platform mid-engine, as Preuninger and Frank said off camera, it is the 992 engine that they have built it from, but then they, figured that there are so many parts changed in it, so they're like, is it the same engine?
I will say it's like comparable, but it's not.
So what's for you, GT4 Spyder?
I'm a really GT4 guy. I mean, I love the Spyder, but the GT4 with the club package, the new colors, the interior, is like, that's the way for me. Go pure hardcore racetrack, for sure.
For me, it is the Spyder.
Yeah. And how about that? I mean, you got the allocation for a Spyder yourself. How does it feel?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the allocation, and I'm going to try to be humble towards that, since not everyone that wants one will get one. But for me now, when I see them flash, I made the right choice. Just like the Speedster behind us, embrace the motorsport engineering and put the top down, embracing nature when you perform the art of driving.
For sure, for sure.
For me, the Spyder was one of, and that was the one that I wanted.
Yeah, I hope we can still be friends otherwise.
We will definitely, definitely. 8,000 revving.
Yeah, it's amazing. And also to hear this engine roar tomorrow, we're going to see it roar on the hill climb. It's going to be epic.
It's gonna be epic. And today we're gonna have dinner, trying to figure out how to spec my Spyder.
Yeah, we didn't talk about this car at all today.
No.
Sure. So we're going to keep on talking about it, and color-wise, interior-wise, it's going to take a couple of hours, but it'll be fun.
And for those that actually lives in Stockholm area, I have an agreement because I want to show everybody the car. Everybody should have the chance to experience the Spyder live.
Yeah.
So we're going to have it live for 3 or 4 months in the facilities in Danderyd, something that I appreciate a lot.
The best thing, we are the two ones that saw the cars first at live.
It is.
That's the best one.
That's really the best one. Anyone, Eric, thank you very much. More to come from us, obviously.
Thank you.
Well, we need to take a look at the Spyder.
Yeah, I can barely wait just to get in details with this beautiful car as well, and it's not to be forgotten. Wonderful car, wonderful car.
So let's continue tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
And the lines that I still spot in this car, but with a more aggressive front. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for real. Ooh. Well, I was not invited to Scotland, but Andreas Preuninger, he crashed my video production. Jag glömde ju säga vad jag skulle göra i Skottland.
Hi guys, and welcome to this beautiful day at Goodwood. This is so nice to be here, and the speech in the background, it's so lovely. We gotta say, if this car is possible to make it even better. Come on, let's check it out.